We're coming up on 6:30 this morning in our next half hour here on Up with KREM. We've got 3 things you need to know about the coronavirus today, including local and national case numbers, along with who will start getting their vaccines today.
And this is a pretty cold and somewhat foggy start to the week as I'm tracking when that fog is going to dissipate and when we'll see more snow on the ground.
And a new Netflix movie is trending today, a mockumentary focused on what a crazy year 2020 has been. We'll tell you more about this star-studded cast and the plot coming up.
Up with KREM begins now.
Hey, take a look at your screen right now. You don't want to miss it. There it is right there. A meteor caught on camera just north of Sandpoint. Did you see it? Well, here's a closer look for you. A KREM viewer sent in this amazing video from the night of December 23rd after it was captured in Upper Pack River Valley, about 15 miles north of Sandpoint. According to the American Meteor Society, there are 3 other reports of people witnessing a fireball in Idaho that night. As we take a look at it in real time again, there it is. See it? Well, the verification, though, is still pending. But Thomas, you said this is a sure thing, right?
Yeah, those porch cameras are not just convincing, but that's pretty much the definition of what a meteor and fireball looks like. Of course, the fireball being like when it kind of explodes in the atmosphere. But yeah, that is really, really impressive, really, really cool.
Well, I know that there are some people at home. This definitely is something that you enjoy. You love talking about this. I feel like every time we're doing Up with KREM together, you have some kind of meteor talk for me. But I know it might maybe scratch the itch of someone that wants to take a look to the skies tonight. Maybe try to catch something. Is it a good night to do so?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it is. Well, if you don't mind it being too cold outside, at least the skies will be pretty clear out there, and that's the key. If you want to do any kind of stargazing, we first just need some clearer skies. So if you want to brave the elements, all the more power to you for tonight. But as of right now, kind of a mixed batch of reporting, because the latest reports from our airport is that the fog was lifting out towards Airway Heights. Same story out of Lewiston, but then we take a look at downtown and it actually looks like the fog has gotten a little bit thicker over the last hour. So we'll call this patchy fog in some spots. Not the most dense fog I've ever seen, but that looks to be about a half-mile visibility in the downtown area as compared to about 3 miles visibility up at Airway Heights. It is cold out there as well, 23 degrees, and a lot of that excess moisture in the atmosphere is accumulating on our cars. It is quite a bit colder this morning than it was Sunday morning. And in fact, in Sandpoint, you're running 22 degrees colder right now than at this point yesterday. In fact, it's just 10 is the temperature right now in Sandpoint. This is going to be one of our colder days today, but the early January outlook favors a bit more mild weather moving into the area, but it will be wetter as well. So we'll be on into one of those situations where it could be rain or snow depending on where you live. But there will at least be one good snow chance this week. I'll show you when and how much snow is in the works before we hit the new year.
For that full forecast, Thomas. It is 6:33 now as new travel restrictions take effect today for people who are coming in and out of the UK. The United States now requires a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of boarding any flight and the paperwork along with it to prove it. The CDC announced these requirements late on Christmas Eve, and the measure is being taken to curb the spread of a new strain of the coronavirus that has surfaced in the UK and appears to be more transmissible than other strains. The move stops short of an outright ban on flights from the UK, but a number of other countries have already implemented that kind of ban. Here are 3 things you need to know about the COVID-19 situation today here in the Inland Northwest. Number 1, today vaccines will start to be administered in long-term care facilities across Washington state. This week, Washington is expected to receive more than 100,000 doses of the vaccine, as officials say there will continue to be a limited supply of it over the next several weeks. Number 2, the Spokane Regional Health District is reporting 116 new cases, which brings the total number of cases to more than 25,000 since the pandemic began. No new deaths have been reported over the weekend, and currently 52 Spokane residents are hospitalized. Number 3, December is now the deadliest month of the pandemic in the United States. So far, more than 63,000 people have died due to COVID in the United States this month. The pandemic has killed 1 out of every 1,000 people in the country.
It was January 1st of this year when most of us heard about the COVID-19 pandemic starting out of Hubei province in China. I just never believed that we would get to 330,000 American lives lost by Christmas Day and still accelerating at 3,000 deaths a day.
Despite the clear CDC warnings that travel can increase chances of getting and spreading COVID-19, more than 7 million people passed through the nation's airports in the last week. 6:35 now, taking a look at what's trending. Netflix has a new special that is all over Twitter this morning. It's a new mockumentary appropriately named Death to 2020, and it takes a look back at the year. The creators of Netflix's Black Mirror series somehow found a way to poke fun at what's been many of our worst year. Lots of our favorite people are in it. You can see just some of the main cast are right now on your screen. Samuel L. Jackson, Lisa Kudrow, Leslie Jones, Hugh Grant, Kumail Nanjiani, just to name a few. And some of the people who've already watched it are calling the movie exactly what they needed: some dark humor to get through the end of the year. Now, there's a way to look back at all of this pandemic fad, like Tiger King, whipped coffee, TikTok beginning its reign, and everyone buying new matching loungewear sets, all included in this movie as a part of fake interviews with different characters, from Samuel L. Jackson as a journalist, to Hugh Grant as a historian, to a soccer mom, and more. But it also gives us a bow to wrap up the year before we toss this crazy year into the fire. That image, Thomas,
Perfect.
It's perfect. I'm personally, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I did see it trending everywhere over the last few days, and I'm a huge Black Mirror fan. So I'm really interested to see how they treated this.
Yeah, and I'm just a big stand-up fan, and I feel like it might have the same vibes. You know, add a little bit of that dark humor into there. It's like a good venting session. Just get it off your chest. Let's put 2020 away and just burn it up in a pit of fire.
Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Just a few more days, everybody. And as we near the end of 2020, we are also looking back at some of our favorite stories from throughout the year.
Where's the American? Where's the American? I'm not playing you! You'll never find him.
Well, from a humble beginning in Spokane to Hollywood, we're going to look back at when a local writer's new movie hit #1 on Netflix.
Looks like it got a little bit foggy out there as we approached the sunrise hour this morning. I'm tracking not just the fog today, a little bit of sun, and then a little bit of snow later on in the week. Your full forecast is right after the break.